Today we're covering part 2 of repairing your front door. This door has rot on the bottom frame, which we fixed. Now we are changing the threshold, we're cutting things out, and we're going to paint this door and really make it nice. If you haven't seen part 1, you want to check that out first. It's a really short video, and the link is right below the description box. Click that, go to 1, check it out, and then come to 2. If you've already seen 1, let's get started on 2. This is where my threshold is going to go. I want to leave a little bit of extra room on top of that to slide it in. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here, right on this line. I'm going to drill some holes in here and anchor this down. Okay, and one over here. Pull this out. See where my holes are. And I'll drill them a little deep. Now that I have my holes in there, I'm just going to take these little plastic anchors and tap them in the hole. You can use wood or anything you have. You don't necessarily have to use these. And they'll pop right in. And I'm just going to use some exterior screws to screw it right into those mollies. Alright, now it's time to put the brick molding back on, and I can caulk it and paint it. I'm going to use the same nails, I just backed them up, and I'll just pop them right in the same spot. Here's a nail set. I use this to pop these nails back in place, and I can put some putty on them so you don't see them. I always keep one somewhere around in my tool pouch because you never know when you're going to need them. Countersink these and come back and put putty on them. We paint it. It'll be really clean looking. There you go. Can't even tell it was damaged. I need to make a little threshold piece where this broke. I don't want to match it exact because where they put the flooring on the inside of the house, they had a little piece of shoe molding that was white and everything else is stained. So I'm going to take this dark cedar, this is heartwood, and it's pretty dark. It matches the floor pretty well once I put a little stain on it. So I'm going to take this and make it overhang a little bit. I'll make it a little bit wider than this. So I want a 2-inch piece right here. I'm going to rip a strip because this is 1.5 inches. I want this to be 9/16 of an inch thick, so I'm going to mark it right here, and I'm going to set my blade for the same width. I took my key out to make sure that this doesn't take off on me, the blade doesn't start spinning. And I set this at 9/16 of an inch thick. So I'm going to have a push stick to get this through here, because that's kind of dangerous getting your fingers close to that. And I have to cut it pretty deep too, you can see here. I just beveled that edge. Now this part sits on top of the floor and it makes a nice transition. I come from this end. I'm going to go to an even 10 inches. Now I'll measure from this end. And I have 26 3/8. So that's 36 3/8. I rounded it over and sanded it. I'm going to put some little bit of clear coat on it tomorrow. I just want to tap it in place and get it ready. That matches the floor pretty well. All I need to do is seal it. Next, I'm going to take and just pre-drill 3 holes in here for my stainless steel screws. Okay. You never want to paint your door or your door jamb with your weather stripping in place. This kind of weather stripping comes out very easily, and you can take it out, paint this, and then put your weather stripping back in. That way it doesn't look like this. You have a nice clean look. The door frame's fixed and painted. I painted the door, put all the hardware back on. Now, this is the key thing that I said earlier. I always put my weather stripping on last. I take it off whenever I'm painting a door and a frame. That way I can take and close my door and it's not going to touch the frame anywhere while it's drying, and it can dry really well and cure. I like to let it go overnight because latex paint will appear dry, but it's not dry all the way through. And when you take your weather stripping and it's pushed up against that overnight or for any amount of time, when you pull it back off, it peels that paint off. That's why I do this. And you get a nice clean look. You want to paint all of this and then put your weather stripping on. That way you don't get any paint at all on this. This looks a lot better if you don't have any paint on it. This one's a little bit more difficult than your other ones because you see that little V-groove right there? That has to snap in. So you take it on an angle and you force it from behind. This part's rigid and you can pull it into that hole. You snap it into this groove right here. Once you do that, it locks in. You can just take it and peel it off. The next time you go to paint, put it right back on. It's real simple. If you have to replace it, these are only about $5 a length. So, unfortunately, they don't give you enough to where you can use 2 lengths for the whole door. They only give you 8-foot lengths. So you have to buy a 3rd length. Here it is. There's my little groove for this. I've got to take this on an angle, put it in here like this, and force it in. And it'll snap in. It's a little bit more difficult than the other kind, but once you get it going, it falls into place. On my other video showing how to do weather stripping, I had to notch the back side because of the way the door frame was. But this is open all the way around. It's no big deal. I just take this, push it in. It fits perfectly. If you want to see how the other kind of weather stripping goes, my other video will explain that. You have to put some pressure on this to get it in there. But you just walk it down slowly. Once it gets in there a little bit, it snugs in fast. When you get close to the bottom, you're just going to take it, bring it down, and snip it. Well, one more job down. This was really easy to tackle. It only took a few hours for the whole job. It's just that you have to wait a day to make sure that door dries well. That's what I like to do. This looks super clean. It looks like a brand new door. Nobody would ever be able to tell the difference. And that Bondo glass, that stuff will last longer than what the wood will. So you don't have to worry about repairing that. If you found this helpful, subscribe to my channel because we're going to be covering a lot more of exterior and interior repairs on your home. And there's a lot of extras in there. So I'll see you on the next project.